Howdy folks, welcome back to Duke Frazier Productions. In today's video, we're going to revisit a topic that we discussed before, and that was, it works in Hollywood, what about real life? Stay tuned. Alright folks, so as I said, the topic of today's video was a recap, or a follow-up if you will, of the previous video on it working in Hollywood and how about in real life. And in that video, one of the prime things I talked about was the ability to drop shells out at a rapid rate like Denzel Washington's character does in the new Magnificent Seven. Because if you haven't seen that movie, go ahead. I'm not going to throw a clip up in here because I don't want to have to deal with copyright infringement possibilities. But anyway, in that movie, after he has one of his shootouts, he takes his gun, puts it on half-cock, points it up in the air, spins the cylinder, and all the cases drop out, and he's spinning it about that fast. And we visited that in the previous video with my 4440, and I said, it can't be done. And a lot of folks went over and commented. Now, we did get some good feedback, some very constructive criticism. We had some not-so-constructive criticism from some non-believers that think they can watch a Hollywood movie and know all there is to know about history. But anyway, one of the constructive criticisms were a gentleman, I don't remember who it was, commented that being as I was using a bottleneck case, the cases would not fall out as easy. The topic of the video was not, whether or not cases would fall out so much as, they're not going to fall out like they did in the movie. However, I did take that to heart, and recently picked up the 73 single action, which you've already probably seen a video on that. And I decided, well, we'll test a straight wall case, because the guy said straight wall case would do that better. And a lot of folks said the actual Colts will do that. Now, I can't afford an actual Colt, but this will do to make up for that. So anyway, we went out and we tested this one today with a variety of different loads, and let's go to the range and see what it does. All right, folks, so we're out here at the range. We're following up on our Hollywood. It works in Hollywood. What about in real life video? And I got quite a bit of feedback on that video, some constructive criticism, and some not so constructive criticism. There's people being keyboard warriors, you know the type. But anyway, one of the guys mentioned that when I was showing it with the 4440, that was a taper case, and that didn't work as well with the taper case that they would drop out with a straight wall case like a 45 Colt. So I've got the 45 Colt out here today. We're going to test that theory, and I thought we'd shoot at some reactive targets here while we're doing it. So I got two pumpkins set out there. One has already been hit, but you got the good side facing you, so we'll hit that again. And then the second pumpkin, we're actually going to use black powder loads on that and show you how those react. So I got this loaded up with Black Hill Smokeless. We'll go ahead and take a shot at that first pumpkin, and we'll see how the shells do. Starting to get a little flinchy. Couldn't be because I've been out here shooting all morning. Whoops. Okay, so I screwed up. I ejected this one with the ejector. Now I got 4 in here. These are smokeless loads, as I said. We'll tip it up here and see how they do. Doesn't drop out. Now keep in mind, I've only had smokeless powder in this gun. That one dropped out. That one did not. These are, I've shot maybe 10 rounds with this prior to this filming, so I hadn't had that many rounds through it. So a couple dropped out, a couple didn't. Now, granted, this is not a Colt, and I've had a lot of people say that they'll drop right out of a Colt every time. I can't afford a Colt, so we're just making do with this Uberti reproduction, which, if you go and watch the Magnificent Seven, Denzel Washington's character is using the Uberti reproduction in that. Now what he does is tips it up, and then I gotta put my finger in there, I'm sorry. He does this number. This is impossible to do and drop all the shells out at a rapid rate unless you're using a 38 caliber sized shell inside the chamber. That's just because that shell cannot fall out of the chamber in time to clear the frame when you are spinning it that fast. It just doesn't work. So I'm going to load up one more time, and we're going to shoot one more load of smokeless here, and then we're going to go to the black powder. That's right, I didn't bring it back all the way back and drop it on the empty. I just kept it at half cock, so we hit the empty. This one should go off. It did. Boy, the rounds sure go fast. And I did it again. Did it again. All right, so this time we'll show you on 4 of them again because I ejected that first one. And it doesn't fall out. Got to push it. Dropped it. See, I'll try to go as fast as Denzel does. See, I already locked it up. But they do drop out with smokeless. I'm more of a history buff guy, and I like seeing a little bit more historical accuracy. So we're going to load some black powder and see how that reacts. These black powder rounds are my own homemade loads. They got a 200 grain conical that comes from a Lee mold, round nose flat point, and there's 36 grains, give or take, of 3FG black powder CCI standard primer. So I will load these up, and we'll see how they do. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the same pumpkin, just because I forgot. I got to do some filming with these black powder loads on another pumpkin. So we'll use the same one here. All right, so black powder loads. Let's see how they do. Tell you what, that black powder smoke kind of burns the eyes a bit. All right, so loaded them up. Oh man, look how dirty that gun got. Oh man, look at that, all that residue on there. That stuff just baked on. Must have had a little residual oil. So, went from smokeless to black. This is the black. I have not opened the loading gate yet. We are on half cock. Hey, 1 dropped out. 2 dropped out. We got 2 out of there like that. I gotta find a place to put these so I don't get them mixed up with my smoke. Whoops, not back in that pocket. All right, so we're loaded up again to black powder, and we're gonna keep hitting that same pumpkin and see how we do. Gonna go for the clay target this time. I don't know if I hit that or not. Man, that smoke's coming right back in my face. Ugh. God. That black powder smoke don't taste so good. Alrighty. Excuse me. Ooh, that barrel's a little warm too. Alright, so that was a second loading of black powder. And we're going to see if these will drop out. So 1 drops out, 2 drops out, 3 didn't. Man, this thing's getting dirty too. 4 didn't. I didn't. So I got 2 chambers that'll drop them out about every time. So, oh. Alright, so 5 rounds. The last 5 rounds we'll do with the 45 Schofield. Alright, so this one's going to double over with another video, but we've finished up the last 3 rounds of the 45 Schofield, and this one's going to also double into the Hollywood video that may come out before this, maybe after, I'm not sure yet. So we're going to see if these will drop out. They do. The cylinder will turn. One doesn't. But they're not by any means real stuck in there hard, because I can wiggle with a finger and get them out. So yeah, they still drop out with the black powder on the Schofields too. So, does it work in Hollywood? Yeah, I can see them just dropping out like that. But the point in the original video, and what a lot of people seem to miss, is that you cannot spin it that fast and get them to drop out. It just doesn't work. But we did prove that with a straight walled case, they will drop out some of the time. All right, so we're gonna call that good. I got a couple other videos I gotta do while I'm out here today, and then we're gonna head back to the hacienda and do the talking part. All right, so as you can see, with a straight wall, shells do fall out a lot better. Not all the time though. There's a reason why Colt designed this with an ejector rod on it, because shells don't always fall out. And we tested it off with the smokeless loads. They did all right. This was a fairly clean gun. When I started that test, I'd only fired 10 rounds of smokeless prior to that for another video. And we also tried the black powder. And with the black powder, you know, they still fell out about the same ratio of those falling out to not falling out as with the smokeless. I also tried it with 45 Schofield. Same result. Some fell out, some didn't. So, you know, is that debunked? Well, the ability to spin it real fast and drop your shells, yeah, that's debunked. That doesn't happen unless you're Hollywood and you stick 38 special cases in a 45, and then maybe it works. But the question as to whether cases drop out or don't drop out, they will drop out on a straight walled case. I think we've established that with this video, and that's not so much true with the bottleneck cartridges like the 4440. So hopefully this video will add a little bit about to that. I want to thank all of you that gave the constructive criticisms, and for those that didn't, well, you know the rest. All right, folks, so that's going to take care of it for the video today. If you liked what you've seen on the channel thus far, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there below. Don't forget to check us out over at Facebook. We try to keep weekly updates over there. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon page. Maybe think about giving us something to help keep the channel going. I'm trying to post more stuff over there for you patrons. And remember, stay tuned and keep your powder dry.